Hello everybody, my name is Eric, and welcome back to Destiny 2. This is the ultimate Warlock DPS damage, whatever we want to call it, guide. So I'm making this video because in my Hunter DPS video, a lot of people wanted to know how to do damage as a Warlock, and here we are. Now there's three things that I want to talk about in this video. One of them is how to do damage while still being the well user. The second one is how to do high DPS as a Warlock. And the last one that I'm going to save for the end of the video is the highest damage for a Warlock that I've ever seen in the entire 5 billion years that I've been playing this game. The most damage I've ever seen, and it's a little bit of a meme, but I'll save that for the end of the video. Now, if you want me to cover Titans, I don't know, I will. Just subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. So as a well user, most of you do not have a damage super. Most of your damage is going to come from weapons. After researching on the internet for so long and my own personal preference in the game, the answer is Rain of Fire. I don't have it, why? And I couldn't find it on Dim, so I just gave up trying. Just pretend this is Rain of Fire. I want to use Rain of Fire is because you have Icarus Dash. And for the same reason as my Hunter video that I posted a couple days ago, this allows you for quick reloads. In our build that revolves around weapon DPS, this is perfect. You want to loop in as many DPS weapons as you can into your rotation. The highest damage I've seen a Will of Radiance Warlock do is Izanagi's Burden and Edge Transit. The important part that makes this work is Cascade Point. And I know the catalyst for Izanagi's Burden is a little bit of a burden to get. Shut the fuck up. I'll make a video soon on how to basically get 700 kills for catalyst for whatever exotic catalyst you need. It's a really simple trick. Here is just a Icarus Dash. This doesn't really matter. I'll play a clip right now. What happens is you want to get your compressed Izanagi's Burden, do your Icarus Dash, which will reload your Izanagi's Burden to having 4 bullets. However, you still have the perk. So the first bullet will still have the compressed chamber damage. You want to shoot 2 bullets, your enhanced bullet, and then just like an extra bullet with Cascade Point ready. You want to compress your Izanagi's Burden, get the next bullet ready, basically. Immediately swap the Edge Transit with Cascade Point, shoot all your goddamn grenades, and notice that I have triple Void Surge. Do not care about the extra stats, even if you can't hit 100 resilience, doesn't matter. For something like Pantheon where it's just boss damage, boss damage, boss damage. After you fire your Edge Transit, you'll have no bullets left. Do another Icarus Dash, which will reload both the Izanagi's Burden and the Edge Transit. You go to your Izanagi's Burden, fire a shot, fire the second shot, compress, and then go back to Edge Transit. This is very similar to the Stasis Hunter one. However, it is a little bit slower because the animation of the Icarus Dash is a little bit more clunky. And it's actually perfectly timed that you don't need the Heat Rises double dash feature. Icarus Dash has around a 4-second cooldown, and that's basically perfectly timed here. Shoot your enhanced bullet, shoot your normal bullet, compress, shoot all your Edge Transit, Cascade Points, Icarus Dash. That takes approximately 4 seconds. You're going to see in the next build that Izanagi's Burden is also really important. Izanagi's Burden, Wither Horde are kind of just the kings of damage rotation because purple heavies are very strong. For our second slot, we have really 2 options here. We have any form of Zawali's Bane, either the Adept version or the crafted version. The crafted, you can guarantee your rolls. Up to you. Just having a Zawali's Bane for ad clear, or if you're comfortable with running double special, Indebted Kindness is such a truck stop. This weapon is, I think, one of the goated weapons of Destiny 2 ever. And yes, I've tried Sunbracers and whatever. I've tried Sunbracers, Apotheosis Veil, basically all the other ones. They all are kind of weak. Damage numbers, including the damage number. I didn't mention this in the other Stasis Hunter DPS video, but all my damage numbers are without any seasonal artifacts. But it does assume a Will of Radiance. So the damage that you're gonna get with this during an Avarok phase is just under 3 million. It's going to be around 2.5 million. It's very simple DPS rotation. Doing this amount of DPS is actually very good. We're not going to be covering Divinity or Lumina or anything of the sort. This video is about getting a high enough DPS, high enough to even carry your teammates through DPS alone. Well, more than enough to carry one other blueberry, let's say that. Now, how do you get high damage without being the well user? If you already have a Will of Radiance for your raid team and you just need to bring DPS as a Warlock, I suggest this build. This build for Warlock is the highest I've seen. That's kind of a lie, because I'm going to show you even better ones soon, but you'll see why you might want this build as well. It's going to be Apotheosis Veil. After you super, you get basically unlimited grenades and melee. It's just that simple. Wanna be on Strand. The other supers suck. They suck balls. I've tried Geomag on the Chaos Reach. It's just a meme. It doesn't do enough damage. And you're in the sky for way too long where you could be doing, you know, damage with your weapons. It's kind of a troll. Don't do it. You need these 3 fragments. Actually, I'd say this one you don't need. Damage with the weapons, like before. We're gonna super, and then we're gonna have infinite threatening grenades to throw at them. And every single time we throw a threatening grenade, it reloads our weapon with Threads Fastback. The DPS rotation of this one is a little bit more complex. The DPS numbers of this, assuming Well of Radiance and no seasonal artifacts, it's a little bit over 3 million, 3.1 million. I'm saying around because if you whiff an Izzy shot, it's going to be a little bit lower or whatever. And it depends on how fast you can compress, how fast you can swap. That's why you want some dexterity mods on your arms, and you want even maybe a kinetic targeting just to help you hit the headshot. Now for this one, you're going to want mixed surges. You're going to want 2 solar and 1 kinetic. 1 kinetic for the izanagi, but the main form of damage is going to be Apex Predator. Apex Predator, or if you have a higher hitting rocket launcher, you can take advantage of the fact that this does give you effectively infinite reloads. I want to warn everyone, in the clip that I'm playing in the background, he is extremely good at canceling his melee animation with something else, whether that be swapping a gun, sprint cancel, or a melee into a grenade. If you guys are just starting out, just don't click the melee button. Don't even use the arcane needle. Maybe use it once at the start. But it really, if you fuck it up, if you fuck up your damage rotation by throwing this and you're 1 second behind with all this, you're gonna lose quite a bit of damage. Don't even bother with the melee, to be honest. Just fire rockets, throw grenade, fire rocket again, throw grenade, fire rocket, throw grenade, fire rocket, throw grenade, fire rocket, throw grenade, throw an Izzy shot, something like that. Of course, we got some artifacts to buff that, but we're not taking that in our damage testing. This, again, hits around 3.1, which is actually very high. Honorable mention that doesn't quite stand up to this one is Necrotic Grips. I couldn't quite find one. But basically, you want to go Necrotic Grips with Witherhoard, and it reaches around 2.9 mil damage. But it is a little bit more brain dead because you just focus on your weapons. You pop your burst super, does quite a bit of damage. It's a lot of damage within a short animation time, and then just focus on weapons. It's a little more brain dead. But if you want the most damage, it's going to be Apotheosis Veil. And finally, we're here. The highest damage a Warlock can possibly do in the video game. By the way, this was discovered, like, I kid you not, like, a week or 2 weeks ago. From the posting of this video. It's the fake Strand Titan build using Verity's Brow. Weapons, nothing fucking matters other than a 1-2 punch shotgun on any shotgun, to be honest. If you want to maximize your damage, it's going to be aggressive frame. And your boots, you want to put as many surges for your shotgun. So I found Verdict, so I'm going to put Oryx Surge on my boots. Another important part is you don't have healing like Titans do. You need Concussive Dampener, and I'd say put double melee resistance mod. Do not swap this out for like an arc or solo resistance. The increase in damage resistance is 10% by doing a double melee, while a solo resistance over here would give you 15% increase. That 5% is not worth you fucking up what type of element it is, or it's not even worth just the hassle, to be honest. That's actually pretty important, having these 3 mods on your chestplate. These Brow, 1-2 punch shotgun, and having grapple here with this specific aspect. This aspect spawns 3 threadlings right on your feet, kind of. The thing with grapple melee is coded as benefiting from both grenade damage and melee damage. I'll make a Titan DPS video soon, so we'll talk about that. The highest damage in all of Destiny 2, across all 3 classes, is the Strand Titan with Banner of War. However, we can get close. Specifically, 20% weaker than Strand Titan with this. And when you see the damage numbers, 20% is not that bad. It's really fucking high. This is the highest damage a Warlock could do. Basically, what we're doing is you farm up with Strand weapons. I suggest a Mercado with Onslaught. It really feels nice. You're going to need a Navigator, or have a Strand Hunter make a tangle point right before a boss DPS. It's just like a floating tangle on the ground for some random mob that died. Tell your team not to shoot it, and then you can use that as one as well. It's literally 5 red bars with any Strand weapon, and then you have 10 seconds to do your cool $5 billion punches. Fire your shotgun, grapple to the grapple point, strand melee, rinse and repeat. And if your timer's getting low, just pull out your Mercado 45, shoot a random red bar, refresh your timer. It is shorter. Banner of War Titans have around 30 seconds to work with, so they don't really have to refresh it. It's only 10 seconds. You're going to have to refresh it during the damage phase. The damage numbers shown here by this channel that's so small, they have 500 subs and posted this video literally like a week ago. You're going to need the same fragrance from last time. I feel an impending nerf to Banner of War coming. However, this is flying under the radar. With all the collective damage added up, everything's hitting, you will still be 20% less than Synthoceps. However, if you are doing this with another Strand Titan, the Strand Titan's Banner of War will also benefit you. Thus, you will actually do more damage using this build than a Synthoceps Titan. You fall short only of a max stack Worm God Caress Titan. That's the only thing that does more damage than this. However, what this makes up for it, a Verity Brow also gives your teammates in a raid setting grenade energy. They get like almost infinite grenades. While you're using Verity's Brow, doing similar damage, borderline similar damage, a little bit less than an actual Strand Titan meta right now, whatever. You're also giving your entire team free grenades to throw. Every single person of your team would probably do, I don't know, 5% more damage, and when you add that up, you kind of made up for it by helping up your team. And isn't that what being a Warlock is kind of being about, is supporting your team? The only problem with this is you don't have any form of healing. Why I really suggest having all three of this here. But you do have access to Weave Walk, which is a form of basically invisibility. You just click this button and everyone kind of forgets, all the mobs kind of forget that you ever exist. Trading a form of healing for a form of invincibility. And the damage numbers of this have never been tested. Not by me, not by anyone on YouTube. However, we can infer it. What has been tested is Synthoceps Titan, the thing that we talked about. Synthoceps Titan in this Chicken SI video that I'll put in the background right here. I'd actually say hit maximum DPS if you can just really fast use your shotgun punch, shotgun punch, shotgun punch, shotgun punch over and over again. Don't even use your supers. That brings another advantage to the Warlock punch build. The Warlock grapple punch build, you actually have a burst damage super. You can just proc this at the start of DPS phase or an additive 400k damage. Basically, Synthoceps would do 5 million damage. So disgustingly highest, and Worm God Caress does even more than that. It allows you to actually solo Avarok in one phase. And of course, that video up there is with no seasonal artifacts, no solo operative buff, just a well. Mathematical calculation, per hit, you will do 20% less than a full Banners of War Synthoceps guy. So 20% less than 5 million is 4 million, which is still high as fuck. And that is assuming that you don't have the Banner of War from a nearby Titan. If you have a Titan friend that's also doing the punch build, his Banner of War will buff you, so you no longer have that 20% less. You'll actually do more damage than the actual Titan, unless he's doing a Worm God's Caress. If he's running Synthoceps, you'll do more with this build, and thus you can hit basically 5 million damage in one Avarok phase with just a will. Now that is some bonkers right there. My ultimate Titan DPS video comes out, you guys will understand everything about this build more clearly. Anyway, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for the Titan video that I'm going to be making very soon. Bye bye.